Criterion is releasing Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, on a new 4K scan Blu-ray, which I believe either comes out, if not this Tuesday, then maybe next Tuesday, somewhere along the lines. I was pretty excited to get my hands on this one and watch it again, because I went through this weird Stanley Kubrick thing early in the 2000s, where I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey and Clockwork Orange and Full Metal Jacket, and it was all DVDs, and I really searched out my way to get them. I didn't really order online. I tried to find them at the local Hastings and stuff. This one avoided me until I got the that Blu-ray box set that come out sometime later on. I believe it was a Warner Brothers Blu-ray. It had like pretty well every Kubrick film almost, I think, in it, besides maybe some rare obscure ones that didn't make the cut, but they were all there. And I had watched this then. I was a little bit iffy on it, but I think the reason I was iffy on it at the time was because, I was kind of distracted with some stuff and I really didn't give it my full attention. This coming out, I wanted to go back, revisit it, and I wanted to give it my full attention. And I'm really happy that I did, because it really kind of clicked with me this time, where it didn't click with me the first time I watched it. Of course, if you've not seen it, it's basically about like an army general that kind of goes off his rocker and decides to send nukes towards Russia. So then we go to the war room where the president's being briefed, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop it. And of course, back at the base that he's at, the general, or whatever he is, he's got like an exchange officer there trying to talk sense into him, but at the same time, he's pretty well got the locals there on base to be on guard and defend against their own people when they tried to come in to stop him. And it seemed like it'd be a really serious tone movie, but at the same time, it's just really funny. It's like it's a satire, and it's kind of like really dry humor. If you want to compare it to something, I would kind of compare it to kind of like a Wes Anderson movie. Like this could be a front runner for kind of Wes Anderson style later on, I would say. So I enjoyed it a whole lot, and I don't want to mess his name up. How could I mess the name up of a legend? But this has, of course, let me find it right here. Where is it? Peter Sellers. Yeah, Peter Sellers from the Pink Panther. He plays 3 roles here. He plays like that exchange colonel guy or whatever, the exchange officer from Britain. He plays the president, and he plays Dr. Strangelove in this thing. And it's a great performance all around. He was going to play the Texas guy from that's in the airplane when we monitor, the one airplane that manages to get away from everybody with the nuke heading towards Russia. He was supposed to play like the big Texas guy in that, but apparently he couldn't hit the accent, so they just passed it on to somebody else. But that's another memorable performance. But the whole thing's full of memorable performances, I would say, and I really enjoyed it, like I said, a lot more this time than I did the first time. But the 4K scan, I think it looks a whole lot better, in my opinion, just from the naked eye and looking at it, than the old one, although I've seen some people try to claim that the Sony one that came out sometime later on looks better. I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that personally, but maybe you can pick them up and give it your own example, or your own examination, I should say, and take examples and see for yourself. But it's on a Region A release, but the cool thing about it is this is the Digipack here. It's a 1:66 ratio, black and white, 1964. But check out this little, it's this side. How many have you seen that goes on that side? Well, there's the little box. Let me find a good place to put it here. And here's this here with the cowboy character. I guess minor spoilers if you haven't seen it, but here's, when you open it up, there's our top secret envelope, which if you've seen the movie, you know what that indicates. There's the work there. There's the high there on the disc. And when you open this, you'll get the Strangelove booklet with essays and whatnot in it. Really cool stuff here. Quotes from the movie. Our Holy Bible and Russian phrases, which of course is credits, and it tells about the transfer inside that booklet. And then we got like an essay here as well, in the form of the instructions in the actual film. Now let me see here real quick while I'm doing this, if I can find a good place here to read off the extras to you folks, so you won't have to run around the internet and try to find them, which I may be able to do. I can't seem to get the booklet back in there correctly, but we'll work on that in a minute. So it's a restored 4K digital transfer with uncompressed mono soundtrack, alternate 5.1 surround sound, presented in DTS HD master audio, new interviews with Stanley Kubrick scholar Mick Broderick and Rodney Hill, archivist Richard Daniels, cinematographer and camera innovator Joe Dunton, camera operator Kelvin Pike, and David George, son of Peter George, on whose novel Red Alert the film is based on. Okay. Experts from a 1966 audio interview with Stanley Kubrick conducted by physicist and author Jeremy Bronson. 4 short documentaries, which I think some of these were carried over from the old one. Interview from 1963 with Sellers and actor George Scott. Experts from 1980 interview with Sellers from NBC's Today Show. Trailers, plus an essay by scholar David Bromwich, and a 1994 article by screenwriter Terry Southern on the making of the film. So it's loaded with stuff, and like I said, it's really a cool packaging. One of the cooler Criterion releases in general that I've seen in some time. Now, pretty well all Criterions, more or less, are awesome. Some tend to be more awesome than others every now and then, but I was really happy to see that they went all out here with this. So if you are a fan of the film, or maybe you want to recheck it out, go back and do it again, you can definitely see the movie for probably the best way you're going to see it right here in this release. The only problem I have with it is I've had some issues getting the slip thing to go back in properly, although that time on camera it did work. And I may have actually been glossing over there as I was. I may have glossed over some of the extras on there, but it has a whole bunch of stuff. And basically anything that was on a previous release has been carried over, plus Criterion added new stuff. But this is a solid 4 out of 5 in my book, and the transfer looks really good. So if you're interested in giving Dr. Strangelove another trip, then I think this would be the release to do it.